Welcome to Lemonade Yoga. I'm Sandy Till. Today's class will focus on introducing what we call in yoga a binding or bound positions. And using a bind or binding is really helpful for going a little bit deeper or creating a little bit more spaciousness. And so we'll try that out in a handful of postures during today's class. And just reinforcing, if anything doesn't feel right or you don't like the way it feels, then back up. You usually can find a really workable place if you back up and stick with it, or just ease right out and take a different version of the posture. Today I'd like to start you with expanding ribs breath exercise, and that's just a way of honing into the way that our ribs can expand and contract as we breathe. So I'm going to invite you to get comfortable. And then bring your hands to the sides of your ribs, like this, or maybe like this, whatever is your most easy reach. And then just taking 3 breaths here, feeling for maybe pressing into your ribs a little bit, and then as you inhale, pressing your breath back into that fingertip touch. You know, in this way, you're really specifically sending your breath right to where your fingertips are touching, inside your lungs. Okay, and then moving forward, bring your hands in the front of your body, wherever it comfortably reaches. And when your breath comes in, feel for pushing your ribs and your belly forward. When we start doing deeper postures, the breath will need to move in new ways. You know that we're going to always focus with our breath, and so it's important to, play with a little bit how you use your breath. Now, for the ribs, for the back body, feel for pressing your fingertips, however you can reach, into your back ribs, and again, feel for inhaling and sending your breath and kind of right into that fingertip point, because that will create a resistance, and it may help you get that move better. Now your lungs have 4 lobes. That's the upper left and right and the lower left and right. And so here I'm mostly bringing the breath into the lower lobes. Okay, so that's our breath today. See if that helps you. And then moving into side bend and butterfly. Now I chose a butterfly shape today because I wanted to warm the hips up for a posture later on in class. So if this works for you, then great. If you need to sit against a wall or crisscross, then do that. I don't want to use that. So we'll do 3 positions in the side bend. Actually, I'm going to turn a little so you can see my back. So we'll start with seated side bend like this, fingertips walking out. You'll inhale, lift up and over. Now we're staying here for 3 different shapes, so we call that a series. We'll go for 4 breaths over the ear. Feel for drawing that shoulder blade down the back and rolling the shoulder girdle forward. That creates a lot of spaciousness at the base of your neck. Moving to chest opener now, you'll take the top arm up, right towards the ceiling, bend the elbow a little bit, and with your exhale, lay the arm back. If you're very flexible, your arm might go quite far back. If you're not, it'll go where it goes, and that's fine. If you have a pain response, change it a little by bending the elbow, straightening the arm. You play with what works in your body. In my body, bending the elbow helps take a lot of the strain out of my shoulders. Now for the bind. Go ahead and ease your arm down a little. Turn your palm facing behind you take a big breath in, and as you exhale, reach your hand back and you'll slide the back of your hand onto your body. Now here, if I can reach right at my pants, I'm going to hook my fingers into my pants, and that's going to be my bind. If I'm more flexible, I can reach further behind and grab around the waistband more to the other side of my body, and that might work. If I had a yoga strap, I could have that around my waist, and I could be grabbing that. So once you get your bind in a way that feels good in your shoulder, then the work is to pull a little bit with that arm. And you see how that brings my shoulder way back? That is the opening that I wouldn't get without the bind. Keep the neck neutral. I have this real training to let my neck hang over to the side. So if that doesn't feel good for you, then just lift your head up. Okay, and release the bind and gently ease your way up. So you can kind of see now how a bind works, and then we'll play with it in a few other shapes. So second side, hand down, walking out onto the fingertips. Inhale, or left arm up, and wrapping the shoulder over the ear. I say over the ear, it's really kind of out here in front of my head, and that's fine. It's just that we're extending the arm up and over. Do feel for keeping your shoulders over the hips as best you can. And then we'll go into the chest opener next. So moving your breath in and gently laying the arm back on exhale. Get a little bit of a pain response there, so I'm going to bring my arm forward until it's not in pain anymore. If you can't micro-adjust and get yourself out of pain, then bring the arm down. And you could just do side bend with the hand on your hip. You don't have to be holding your arm up to do a side bend. Now, if you're holding your legs like this still, you must be noticing that they're burning a little. My legs are getting a little warm in this shape, which is kind of the point. But if it gets to a pain response, or it gets to a place where it's not workable, then you should change it. Okay, going for the bind. Palm rolls back. With your exhale, slide the arm down and just feel for how far back you can comfortably reach. And then grab on to your pants, or your waistband. And gently pull with that back arm. You'll see the opening come across here in the chest. And this arm is getting a little taxed, so a variation, I'm going to just bring my hand across the body so I can leverage here a little. And then gently easing out, release your bind. Let's bring the legs forward and give them a little break. Go ahead and roll the legs a little. Feel what you've done. Next, classical spinal twist with a bind. So I'm going to turn again, just so you can kind of see how the bind goes. In classical spinal twist, one leg is straight as a beginner, and the other knee is straight up in front of you. If you can crisscross over, toes point forward. If you're flexible and you can keep this other foot under you and this knee straight and still sit flat, then that might be your shape. I'm a little off of that. I can't quite hold my shape here. I'm kind of like, ugh. So I'm going to choose to straighten my bottom leg. And that's just a modification. Okay? So for this one, we'll go ahead and take the twist. I'm going to inhale and reach my arm around the front of the knee. You can also go over the thigh if you have that much flexibility and spaciousness. And then the bind, I'll take my back arm, and again, palm facing back. On exhale, I'll reach back and grab onto my waistband. Now from here, we'll just take a few breaths. Make sure we're not in a pain response. And then on an exhale, go ahead and pull with the back arm and feel for how you can kind of use that as a tool to open across the chest and shoulders more. Keep your neck neutral. We typically grind our jaw and do weird stuff with our neck and when we're working with our shoulders. So notice what you're doing. And gently easing out. Second side. I'll turn and face you forward this time. Left knee up. I'm going to place the hand back behind me and go for the twist. And then I'll go for the bind. I'll pick my back hand up, palm facing away from me, and on exhale, slide the hand to where it comfortably reaches. If this hurts your shoulder, don't do it. If you can modify and get yourself to a place where it doesn't hurt you, then do that. Okay? Once you grab onto your pants or your waistband, then go ahead and give a little bit of a pull, and you'll find yourself spiraling open. It's kind of nice because I don't get this open without the bind. And it just makes your shoulder joint go in a new direction, which is not a bad thing. Easing out of there. Go ahead and come forward and notice what you've done. Next, we'll work on our warm-up. So this is the heat-up part. So the side bend and the breath and the twist is our warm-up, and then our abs and our bridge and our dolphin is our heating up, and then we'll do our lunge sequence with some binds. So go ahead and lie down and take your abdominals. Do as many as you like. Clasp your hands behind the head. I'll do half down, half easy, and half with my knees up, just to show both variations of easy abs. Low back goes down, low ribs gently bearing down into the floor. Elbows pointing towards the ceiling. Keep the elbows up. Shoulders down the back. Big breath in. And exhaling to the left. Get empty so that you can inhale fully on the return. Notice if your neck is relaxed or not. You can pause right about here and let the head hardly hang back. That'll help you retrain a tense neck. The up level here is going to be bringing the knees over the hips and the feet are just hanging down. Low back goes down again. Inhale. To the left, straighten the right leg. Full inhale, returning back to center. And exhaling over. Get all the air out. Well done. And release the feet down. Take a moment. Feel your spine and your back. Bridge pose. Fingertips graze your heels. Heels come up so that your fingertips can graze them. Palms face up. Huge inhale. And lengthening the tailbone, come on up. On the inhale, expand the ribs, opening the chest. And as you exhale, press down through the legs, lifting the hips higher if it feels good for you. Holding about 6 breaths here. Every breath is work. Exhale, press down gently through the feet. Find your leg muscles. Get them turned on by noticing what's working, what's not. You can bear weight through the heels and the balls of your feet. I like to lift my toes and active feet. Coming out of this posture, gently pull with your legs, rolling upper back, mid back, low back, and hips down. Preparing for dolphin, roll gently over to your side. And come onto your knees and elbows. And so, I always encourage you to have bare arms for this so that you can utilize this. If you have a sticky mat, utilize a sticky mat. Clasping the fingertips around your triceps, that's the back of your upper arms. Clasp in front. Relax the neck down. Lift the upper back up. And you'll get that, by pressing the elbows into the floor. So it looks like this. And then hang the neck. Lean your weight into your arms. If you have no pain response, that means your shoulders are doing pretty good, and you can go ahead and lift some more weight. If you get a pain response, then I invite you to work on getting the shoulders down the back and really just getting to where you're not in pain, but you're still working the posture. If you can't get out of pain here, then sit up and do unlocking the shoulders or more side bends. Maybe widening your feet here. Bend the knees and use a lift through the back of the hips to lengthen the spine. Also takes pressure out of the shoulders. If you're tight in the legs and you're straightening your legs, you'll tend to put a lot of pressure into your shoulder girdle. That's not necessary here. You might get flexible enough to place your feet flat on the ground. That varies for me from day to day, but it does feel good to go in that direction. And I'm going to go ahead and ease down from there. And slowly sit up. Whew, going upside down feels so good. It's really energizing. So notice that energy that you're getting. And then what we'll do next is move into lunge series. So like we started class, we were doing a side bend series. Now we're going to do a series in lunges, moving into a bind. So I guess what I'll do is start with my left leg forward and the back leg straight. So you look back at it, make sure your ankle's straight, leg is straight. Hips, feet are about hips width. It took me a long time to be able to do lunge like this. So if you're struggling at all, get a block or get a chair and have it near you so you can have some support while you get your strength and your balance. Okay, so for lunge, regular lunge, let's go ahead and sink forward to stretch the hips. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, keep the back leg pressing down as you lean forward. And just come as far forward as it feels good. Yeah. We're going for 4 to 6 breaths per posture, per side. Okay, and then for easy twisting lunge, our next one in the sequence, we'll square up, so bringing the legs back to square. And, using a block here is absolutely fine if you need it. If you can comfortably reach your hand to the floor, just right across from your front foot, and then place it flat or on your fist as you need to. We'll take our twist from here. So you'll inhale and just sort of lift the ribs up, and then as you exhale, open up. Now, lifting this top arm up may not feel good for you, so it kind of depends on your body and what it's doing, but easy twisting lunge. Maybe hand on hip, like my shoulder doesn't super love that shape today, so put my hand on my hip. Taking a few breaths here. All right, and then coming to the bind. So we'll come up to the square shape again. And what I'm going to do is show you how I'm going to be reaching over my body and grabbing onto my pants. So this time I don't have a waistband to grab, so I'm going to just grab my clothing. So it's nice to have something that you can grab onto. For this one, I'll have you start by lifting your right arm up, making a long waist, and then exhaling the elbow over the thigh. Now from here, go ahead and bring your hand to the hip and just grab on to what you can reach. So I'm just holding onto my clothing. The other hand is on my hip. And then going after the opening that the bind will offer you, you'll inhale and pull a little bit with that. So it might help you or might just stabilize you, but that is working a bind in lunge. Eventually, you'll be able to reach your hand under the leg and this hand around to grab it. If you really want to go after that kind of thing, that's kind of where this posture goes. Now, this is one where my lower ribs are really busy being twisted, and so my breath needs to go up into my chest and upper lung lobes. And releasing from there. Woo. Okay, switch sides. Now you've got lunge, inhale, and sink forward to your edge. Keep that back leg pressing down. About 4 to 6 breaths per side. If your body releases a little, you might go deeper. It just kind of depends on the day, what feels right for you. Okay, easy twisting lunge. We'll square up, back up, so that you're squared in the legs. Place your hand down. Inhale, float the outside arm up. Maybe relax the neck down. Now on this side, it's easier for me to float my arm right over my shoulder. So just notice different parts of your body will have different responses. And then easing up. Going for the bind on this side, I'll inhale and float this outside arm up and reach over. I'm grabbing my leg just like I did on the other side. And just as an add, this hand could come around and bind too. So, you can bind all around town. It's kind of intense though, to me, to do all this. It's hard in the hips, it's work, which is good. Like, we want to exercise. Use our muscles. And easing out. Very good. All right. Now the next posture is arch your arms. And for that one, I think I'll turn this way again. For archer arms, I'm going to stay on my knees just because it's going to be easier for me than sitting. This one, you'll float the arm up, bend the elbow, and grab on. So here I'm going to bind onto my clothing. The other arm, I'm going to exhale and palm back away from me, just like we did all the other ones. Reach through and grab onto whatever I can reach. Now from here, you've got a clasp. If you pull with both arms, that's going to open your chest and shoulders significantly. You'll kind of see how that helps to open that shape. The top arm, technically roll it in and reach the elbow up. Ease the bottom shoulder down. And then eventually it'll get closer and closer and your fingertips will clasp. It is totally acceptable. Let's release and do the other side to just do one half of this. You don't have to do both arms. Palm faces inward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, grab. You might simultaneously reach for this bind at the same time. Now, I'm going to wrap the top shoulder inward and reach the elbow up. Now, that's just muscular work here, just to get in alignment. And then I'm going to use the bind. So I'll take an inhale and gently pull from the clasp. And you'll see that that just brings me a little deeper into the shape. As long as you're not in pain, then that opening is an ally. We're opening up spaciousness for your blood flow, your nervous system, all your energies. Archer arms. Keep the neck as neutral as you can. And release. Okay. All right. So that's your binding for today. Let's go ahead and rest for a few minutes. Lie down. Get comfortable. Spread out so you've got lots of space to breathe. Be warm. And deepening your breath. If you're super relaxed and you can rest for longer, then do so. This is a great place to be. If you're ready to get up, then go ahead and deepen your breath. Move your fingers and toes a little bit, waking up. And gently roll onto the side for a few breaths. And then gently bring yourself up to seated. Thank you for your practice.